Okay, we're going to look at this question. Assess the view, so it's a debate because it's got the word view. So we do 6 paragraphs. Assess the view that crime is linked to gender. So it's told you that you definitely need to be looking at the pink gender grid. So this side is going to be that crime is linked to gender, meaning that men are more criminal. And then this side is going to be crime is not linked to gender. It's possibly other factors. So, paragraph 1, the first paragraph we've got in our gender grid is that crime is linked to gender when we consider socialisation. For Hydenson, women commit so few crimes. Women commit few crimes because because as a result of socialisation, women commit so few crimes because as a result of socialisation, they lack the elements associated with crime, particularly aggression and toughness. With her is Stephen Moore. When offending females, when females do commit crime, it's an expression of their socialised roles of family provider and, the bracket, shoplifting, and provider of sex, prostitution. I'm not using the usefulness. Farrington and Painter independently found that offending females were more likely to have lacked parental praise and endured harsh or erratic parenting. Those 3. This shows crime is linked to gender. Women commit so few crimes. It's in the intro where we put the 90% of the prison population is male. Women commit so few crimes because during socialisation, we do not allow them to be aggressive. Women commit so few crimes because during socialisation, we do not allow them to be aggressive, and therefore it's less likely to lead them to commit crime later in life. However, for Carlin, crime is not linked to gender. However, for Carling, crime is not linked to gender. There are more male prosecutions for shoplifting. Crime is not linked to gender. There are more male prosecutions for shoplifting, which suggests women are more likely to commit crime but be able to negotiate. It's suggesting that women are committing just as much crime, but they're able to negotiate, are unlikely to show up therefore. Okay, done gender. Now the grid, I'm going to go against with it's not gender, or crime is not linked to gender. So crime is not linked to gender, but is the result of class or blocked opportunities. I'm doing this because the gender grid isn't big enough. So I'm going to do my favourite 3 function lists for Merton. Merton altered anomie to mean a society where there is a disjunction between goals and means. There's a tremendous cultural stress on material goals or the American dream. But the majority lack the legitimate or legal means. They experience blocked opportunities. For Cohen, when unable to achieve the consensus goal of status in education. For Cohen, when unable to achieve the goal of status in education, there is a reaction formation resulting in status frustration and their creation of a subculture where status is awarded for deviant acts. My third is Cloud and Oland. Always do those 3 if I can help it. For Cloud and Oland, the working class experience blocked opportunities from money and status. The working class have experienced blocked opportunities from money and status. So have created an illegitimate career structure. Have created an illegitimate career structure. Criminal, violent, and retreatist. Blocked opportunities within these explains different types of crime. So I've really come away from the question because I've mentioned gender at all, so it has to come back to the question. So this shows that crime is not linked to gender. It's showing us that crime is not linked to gender. Crime is linked to class and is the result of blocked opportunities. Crime is not linked to gender. Instead, it's linked to class and is the result of blocked opportunities. Individuals innovate to achieve material or status goals. It's not gender, it's class, is what we're arguing. However, instead of Valier, we're going to go back to Heidenson. However, for Heidenson, working class women, what do you think working class women experience? Working class women experience blocked opportunities. Working class women experience blocked opportunities, and more so than men due to sexism. Appreciate that's really me rather than Heidenson. This theory reflects male stream views and doesn't acknowledge gender. Need it really to come back to them really not even in any way addressing gender. So we come back to yes, there is a link between, or crime is linked to gender, I should say. So crime is linked to gender when we consider social control. So our second paragraph on social control. For Heidenson, it's fine to use her name several times because she says several different things. The primary explanation as to why women commit so few crimes is because they experience additional social control, both in the public and private spheres. For Carlin, women are offered two deals to conform. The class deal is material rewards, and the gender deal is patriarchal ideas. Patriarchal ideals of wife and mother. Women commit crime when they have not had the class deal. Women commit crime when they've not had the class deal, so grown up in poverty and had to reject the gender deal and had to reject the gender deal due to abuse. For Lees, slag is a powerful mechanism of social control on all women. Short and sweet. This shows crime is linked to gender. This is showing us that crime absolutely is linked to gender. Groups who experience more social control, so women, groups who experience more social control, women, commit fewer crimes. We socially control women much more than we socially control men. However, However. For Hood notes, women are twice as likely to be cautioned than men, suggesting women are engaging in crime but have the power to be able to negotiate and prevent prosecution. Keep seeing repeatedly that women are far more likely to just be let off in our evaluation. If I come back to the question, to be able to be engaged, but power to be able to negotiate prosecution, suggesting crime is, she's suggesting that crime is still linked to gender. Coming back to that question. So this side is crime is linked to gender. Yeah, because we don't allow women to do it. Sorry, she's suggesting crime is not linked to gender. Everyone engages in crime. I thought something seemed off. Everyone engages in crime. Women can just, as I said, negotiate. Right, against. It's not gender that's linked to crime. It's not gender, it's gender. Oh, that's the language. Crime is not linked to gender. It's class and being young. For subcultural Marxism, capitalism maintains control through ideological dominance and economic pressures. The young engage in crime. I'll leave it there, I shall do that in this shows. For Hall and Jeffredson, subcultures can reject and resist the dominant culture with high unemployment and low wages. For Break, subcultures allow freedom and optimism that things could change. And for Cohen, they are a symbolic solution to the decline of working class community and inner city decline. Okay, this shows, again, it's got to come back to whether it's gender or young. This shows crime is linked, or no, this shows crime is not linked to gender. This is showing us that crime is not linked to gender, but is linked to youth and being working class. It's not linked to gender, it's being young and working class. These groups engage in crime. So young working class, or these groups engage in crime as a way to resist capitalism, as a way to resist capitalism and its exploitation. However, for Collinson, these crimes seem to be linked. These crimes seem to be linked with masculinity. These crimes seem to be linked with masculinity. As again, there is no consideration of working class young women. There is no consideration of working class young women, suggesting crime could be linked to these factors and gender. If you're a working class young man who can engage in crime because you're trying to resist capitalism because it exploits you, I'll come back to my point. What do you think a working class woman who is young, why is she not engaging in crime? So my last paragraph is that, what's the question? Crime is linked to gender when we look at marginalisation. So I'm going to do, for Adler, changes in the structure of society. Changes in the structures of society, such as economic, freedom for women, and women's increased liberation, has led to an increase in crime. For Heidenson again, it's in each one of those grid sections. For Heidenson, women have fewer opportunities to commit crime. For Heidenson, women have fewer opportunities to commit crime, being the primary carers, for children, physically restricts them from being able to commit crime. It physically restricts them from being able to commit crime. So because I'm not going to do another paragraph, I'm going to take Messerschmitt from the paragraph below. So normative masculinity is the socially approved idea of what a real man should be. Normative masculinity is a socially approved idea of what real men should be. And successful men in our culture dominate women. And successful men in our culture dominate women. Working class men who experience blocked opportunities from dominating may engage in sexually harassing behaviour, or violence as a way to achieve this goal. Could add Campbell in there, just because she's in with Messerschmitt. So for Campbell, economically unsuccessful men. Unsuccessful men, again, may engage in violent acts. So, quite a long paragraph there. In our this shows, so we're going to say this shows, just on that point, that's obviously their theory. I would stress to you the number of incredibly powerful and wealthy men that have engaged in sexually harassing or violent behaviours towards women, just to try and balance that out, because yeah, there's no blocked opportunities for some of those men. Well, there's no blocked opportunities for those men, and they still engage in crime against women. So this shows crime is linked to gender. It's showing us that crime is linked to gender. We're going to use kind of Messerschmitt. So if men experience blocked opportunities from dominating women, so legitimately, so can tell them what to do in like a place of work. If men experience blocked opportunities from dominating women, they may engage in crime in order to meet this society or socially approved, for want of a better word, goal. However, Campbell notes that in self-report studies, women appear to commit the same amount of crime as men, suggesting crime and gender are not linked, as the official crime statistics suggests. Official crime statistics suggest it's for every 6 crimes, 5 of those crimes are committed by men and 1 is committed by a woman. In her self-report studies, she finds it's basically 1-on-1. Okay, so it's not gender, it's class, it's not gender, it is young, it is not gender, it is ethnicity. So crime is not the result of gender. Crime is not, oh, that's not the question. Crime is not linked to gender. It could be linked to ethnicity. Hopefully you see now why I've done the 3 paragraphs on gender and then paragraphs against, because otherwise I'd only have 1 paragraph for this side. It tells you the grid, which is gender, but when you're planning it, if you're like, well, I've only got 1 paragraph against, you have to go to other grids, just to give you that as there's the reason why I've done that. So it could be linked to ethnicity. So I'm going to do for Leah and Young. For Leah and Young. Crime is the result of subcultures or blocked opportunities, relative deprivation and marginalisation by stop and search. For Nightingale, US black youth have extremely strong consumerist values and desire high status, but are often denied these due to blocked opportunities caused by racism. Because I just like third, 3, I'm just going to add in Gilroy. So crime by black groups is a political act against a racist, capitalist system. You'll notice on this side, they're shorter apart from the first one. You have to make sure you get through 3 paragraphs on gender. It has to be dominantly gender, just so you know. If you're thinking why you're shortening stuff, oops, shortening things down, that's why. So this shows, what's the question? Because I keep coming away from it. This shows crime is not linked to gender. It's the result of racism causing blocked opportunities and marginalisation via stop and search. It's not gender, it's racism caused by blocked opportunities and marginalisation via stop and search. Women are unlikely to be stopped and therefore are less likely to engage in crime. Not the straw that breaks the camel's back. Remember, you have to be marginalised. However, Bowling and Phillips, you could do the crime stats again, so you could do however for Hughes. Theories based on the official crime statistics, which is inaccurate. But also, for Bowling and Phillips, black women are more likely to be remanded in custody before and during a trial. Before and during a trial. And therefore, gender does need to be considered with crime. So, 6 paragraphs, has to dominantly be gender. If you had to sacrifice, you'd have to sacrifice anything that was not based around gender. So to conclude, what's the question? Crime is, do I think it's linked to gender? To conclude, crime is, could be, I don't know. Crime could be linked to gender. Women find fewer opportunities to commit crime. Although there was a 50% rise in female crime from 2015 to 2016, suggesting that as society continues to change, women will commit more crime. It may also be that a chivalry factor means normative women and good mothers have negotiation and therefore just don't show up in the crime stats. So, could do a chivalry factor this side, just so you know, and do all of gender. But again, when you ran out, you'd have to go to the other grids. Whereas with ethnicity, you don't need to do that. Hope that makes sense.